hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
It's the after show where we gather together to, well, kind of pick up all the loose ends and sweep the floor. So for those that we have Tom here. Hey, Tom, I appreciate you stepping in and helping us out today.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Of course, Jim is over in the corner where he's regular. We actually don't let him out of there very often.
Yeah, less of a pleasure to have me around, but I get it. On a
Jim, you might just explain why Michelle's not here.
Right. On a serious note, Michelle's father-in-law, Gary Cleland, passed away. And he was a icon in Ohio for firearms and archery. And today it made more sense for her to be with her family.
As it should be. So we appreciate Tom helping us out today. Although, Tom, I gather some people did call in and say, wait, where's Michelle?
Yeah, every week.
Yes, every single time.
Yeah. Just for clarity, we may call, Tom Gresham, Jim Kenzie. We'll just call you not Michelle. Do you have a problem with that?
I like it.
I'm actually legally changing my name to not Michelle.
There you go.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, and special drum roll. Tom fulfilled his obligation to himself and his safety and got his carry permit.
Yes,
so your permit came in.
It did.
Congrats.
And I was just giddy.
Now you have cracked open the door and you have entered a new phase of your life. This is going to be very interesting.
Yes, it should be. I'm looking
I'll tell you what, hold on to that. We want to talk in just a minute about what you're going to carry and how you're going to go about it and all of that. But Joel has been on hold for a little while, and he's got some help for us. He's calling out of Anchorage, Alaska. Hey, Joel, thanks for your patience.
Well, the conversation you had with the people earlier about the powdered out burning or burning through a hole through it and the bullets getting stuck, I had that same problem about 50-some years ago.
Yeah.
And it came down... I was using a single-step reloading press. This was a rifle cartridge. And it was in southeast Alaska, where it's as wet as it is in Louisiana, where the rain's colder. So you oil your gun up and everything quite liberally to keep the rust down.
Right.
That transfers over to reloading. And what I was doing, and I proved this by pulling bullets, you pick up a cartridge case that you have lubed, put it in the die, run it up, size it, decap it, and then put the primer on it. If you use the same hand that you picked up that case that had an oil on it, you have now damaged that primer.
Absolutely. You can't touch a primer with any kind of oil or lube on your hand. You will either reduce it or kill it altogether. Yeah,
but I was a slow learner. It hasn't happened since.
Okay, well, you know what? That makes more sense than humidity in the air because, I've loaded forever in Louisiana and in Alaska and in Virginia and have not had that problem. Getting the oil on the primer makes more sense than anything I've heard so far. And for those who don't know, you really do have to be careful about when you lube your cases, you clean them off, but you don't touch primers with any kind of lube on your fingers because oil or lube can it could actually kill primers. In fact, we always tell people if you need to dispose of primers, just put them in some oil and let them sit there for a few hours. It'll kill them. So that is an excellent point, Joel. I had not thought of the lube. Honestly, I thought everybody understood. I mean, every loading manual, everything you read says be careful, don't get oil or lube on the primers. I shouldn't assume, but I was assuming that everybody understood that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that call. Excellent info. One of those little deals, guys. It's a detail. Once again, why I wouldn't use hand loads for self-defense. I know the ammo companies do it better. They just do it all the time, and they don't have anybody handling that stuff. It's all done by machines.
Yep. Well, Tom and I have never had that happen in our massive reloading experience every time. Either round.
Either one. Yeah. Well, the other thing you can do when you're single loading, you have this tray. Okay, so you might have like 50 empty cartridges in the tray, right? And the mouths are pointing up, and you're moving them along underneath a powder measure, and you flip the lever, and it dumps a charge in one case, and then move the little block over, and you flip the lever, and it dumps a charge in another case. it's possible and has happened many, many times to skip a row. You get distracted or whatever, so you end up with 5 or 10 cartridges that have no gunpowder in them whatsoever. Now, which is one of the things you do is you take a powerful light and you look down inside of each one before you load bullets on top of them.
Makes sense.
It's part of this quality control thing we're always talking about.
Now, is there any thought to wearing gloves or using a multi-stage press instead of single? I mean, are there advantages there?
A lot of presses have automatic primer feed so that you're not touching the primers and it feeds down and it drops them in. But he was talking about using an old-style single-stage press, which I've used a lot of times when you would literally reach over with your fingers and pick up a primer and you put it in the little slot and then you put the case in there and you pull the lever down and you're pressing the primer in. I always liked the Lee brand, L-E-E brand hand primer setup. I didn't like to use the loading press itself to seat primers. I didn't feel like I had enough feel in terms of seating the primer because you want it to go in a certain amount, not too much. You don't want to crush the anvil in there, but you also have to seat it all the way into the primer pocket. Here's a thought for you. If you don't seat the primer all the way into the primer pocket, when you pull the trigger and the firing pin hits the primer,
it'll seat
it's going to push the primer further into the pocket, right?
Right, less resistance.
Until it bottoms out, and now you have absorbed some of the energy of that primer strike in seating the primer, and it's very likely you'll get a light strike and you won't know why.
Wow. See that? It's Reloading with Tom Gresham. Reloading 101. That's cool. I would have never thought of that.
I was, after all, the editor of Handloader magazine back in...
so you might know a little bit about what you're talking about.
Well, you know what it is? It's like everything else. I just know that I've read and heard what everybody else said, and I absorb it, and I pass it along as though I actually know this stuff.
There you go. Now, is this something that like reloading hasn't changed as much as firearms have over the past 40 years, for example?
Reloading has not changed much at all. I mean, it is as simple as it can be. Your basic metallic cartridge, pistol or rifle, is 4 parts. You got a case, you got a primer, you got powder, you got a bullet. That's it.
Okay.
Now, the thing that has changed is the widespread acceptance of progressive loaders. Back 40 years ago, there was the Star brand loader, which was a really popular, very high-end progressive loader that a lot of pistol competitors used. And then Dillon came along and changed the game completely. I mean, and that is the go-to.
I would say, they are the name when reloading, right?
Yeah, they are. I mean, it was kind of like, wow. And I remember way back, 20 years ago, David Tubb, who was winning every national championship you could win in rifle shooting, when he came out and said, okay, all these guys who are hand loading and fine-tuning their loads, he says, I make my ammo on a progressive Dillon loader, and I win national matches with it. And at that point, people went, what? Game changer.
I bet he got a Christmas card from Dillon that year.
More than likely.
Sure hope so.
But I mean, I do know a lot of people who have, God, I won't say who, but one couple, you go into their laundry room and there are 4 Dillon loaders set up in the laundry room. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to change them over. We're actually going to just have a loader for each caliber.
Yeah, why have dice switch it out, right?
No. I want to be able to walk in there and knock out 500 rounds of 9 or 45 or whatever.
There you go.
That's cool. If you got the budget and room.
The cool part is if you get the ones that really have a pretty fast loading rate, you're better off with 2 of you, one to operate it and one to keep filling the hoppers.
That quick, huh?
Yeah, you can. I mean, with some of these, you can easily load 1,000 rounds an hour.
Wow, I thought you were going to say 1,000 rounds a night.
Yeah, wow. Oh no, man, we can go to town. We can make some ammo now. And you can imagine if you're having to stop and go get the bullets and get the primers and all that stuff and keep feeding it, that slows you down. But if you got 2 of you,
do they have motorized progressive loaders where all you have to do is just fill the bins?
Yeah, no, they do. Sure, they have motorized ones, and so now you really are just the stock boy. You're loading the thing all the time.
It doesn't have an ashtray built in, I'm assuming, no?
Yeah, no. Funny you should mention that. They used to, people I know would smoke while they loaded.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Of course, that's the same guy that's smoking while he's pumping gas, right?
Yeah. Well,
I'm thinking, how quickly can I get away from this place?
Wow.
Well, nothing's ever happened yet.
Yeah, it's the old deal. Yeah, he can be blindfolded and run back and forth across a busy street. It's all fine until it's not. So, hey, let's take a quick break. Come back. I want to talk to Tom about his new carry permit. This is going to be very cool.
Sweet.
Smith & Wesson brings 10 years of development to your holster with the new enhanced M&P M2.0 semi-auto pistol. In 940 and 45 with a crisp and lighter trigger pull, the M2.0 has aggressive texture for a great grip, extended stainless steel chassis for rigidity, and 4 palm swell grip inserts for a perfect fit. The remarkable M&P, even better in version 2.0. See it at smith-wesson.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com. All right, we're back. And Tom, was it this week you just got your carry permit mailed to you?
It was this week, yeah. It only took about 9 days from submitting to the application till it came in the mail.
Wow.
And that's in Ohio?
That's in Ohio.
Yeah, so that's cheating because a lot of states, it's 30 to 60, maybe even as much as 90 days to wait to get your permit.
Well, from my understanding, it varies from county to county here, too, which is why I went to the county I did.
You went to the good county.
A contiguous county.
Yeah.
Well, that's terrific. Okay, so what is your plan? Well, first of all, let me back up. Why did you decide to get a carry permit?
Well, I think we hit on that a couple of weeks ago when I told you about watching a video of the armed robbery that was just about 2 blocks from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And,
okay, that stuff's everywhere.
Like, yeah, I don't usually think anything of, it's a nice neighborhood. I don't think anything about walking around at night. But now I'm going to do it with a gun.
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to carry? What are you thinking in terms of pistol?
I'm still searching for the right pistol. I've had, people, hey, try this. There's a couple that I tried. I could not give a very fair assessment because the person loaning me the guns was also using his own reloaded ammo that jammed after almost every round. And so I can't make a fair assessment of this gun if the ammo is
true. We have too many variables. I don't know if it's the gun or it's the ammo.
Yeah.
That's a nice single-shot auto you got there.
Shoot it once and then it's a club.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I more recently tried a Springfield, I think it's an ECP and a 9mm. I liked that one. At Jim's suggestion, I tried the M&P Shield, which I just did not feel as comfortable with.
Okay.
And I just had one loaned to me today to try out. What is it, Jim?
Like
the Ruger?
Yeah, LC9.
LC9.
You've gone to Jim's Linda Gun.
.com. I honestly think that the LC9 is really an underrated carry gun. Nobody talks about it. It's a great gun.
I know. I agree with you. It feels good. It's got a good trigger, and it's not tiny, but it's pretty small.
Yeah, it's almost like between a compact and a subcompact. I mean, it's narrow, too. It's not like a Glock. It's a lot narrower.
Yes, it's thin. I like that about it. So do you have a holster that he can borrow?
Funny you mention that.
I'm gonna rent him that. I let him borrow the gun, but rent the holster.
Oh, I see. This is how we're doing it. The gun's free. The holster's going to cost you.
Yeah, he got a holster. He got ammo. The only thing he didn't get is a spare mag because I haven't got one yet.
Okay.
But that's in the works.
Well, then that's when you carry a spare gun.
Exactly. ShopRuger.com.
That's right. They can mail you a magazine directly. That's the good part. ShopRuger.com.
Yep.
So are we going to be able to, like, after the show, run out and shoot this gun? Because you definitely want to shoot it before you carry it.
Yeah, probably after we wrap up here, just step outside and touch off a few rounds.
Well, or just on the way home as you're driving, get us a few rounds off.
No problem with that.
It's not road rage if you're not mad.
Right?
Yeah, you get off.
For some reason, I got in my head that image from that movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?, where the guy is machine gunning the cows.
Oh, yeah.
Just, oh, George, not the cows. Oh, no. Well, that's going to be an interesting transition for you. And it is for everybody, Tom. It's kind of like, okay, I know I want to do this. I know it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. Like you made a comment before, like I have a big neon sign above me that says, he's got a gun.
Yeah, you feel like that the first couple of weeks. And you're always like tapping your gun with your elbow or touching it. Stop that. It's still there. It really is. It's still there. Quit telling everybody around you, oh yeah, this is where my gun is.
And dark shirts, not light shirts.
Well, and getting into the mindset where it's like your wallet. Mm-hmm. It's just as important to walk out the door with your handgun as it is your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll also find you're starting to change, like if you reach up for something that's high, if you've got your shirt tail untucked over it, you got to be careful about that. When you bend over to pick up something in public, you squat instead of bending over because otherwise the shirt will stretch out and it will print. It just, there's just stuff like that, right, Jim?
Yeah, I've had buddies bump into me and their eyes get big and wide. Because they'll feel it with their hip or whatever and go, okay. It's like, yeah, well.
Well, here's another one for you. Real world. A lot of the women I know are huggers.
Yeah, there you go.
So when you see them, they come up to you and want to hug. They will typically go, are you right-handed, Tom?
Yes.
They will go left hand low, right around your waist, and right on your gun. So my technique is I go right hand low.
Is that considered double action?
Yes, probably is. I don't know. It's DASA. I don't know. I try to go low with my hand underneath their left arm to get their arm up higher to keep it off my gun.
Oh, okay. You nip it in the bud.
So if you can get yours low first, then they have to move that left arm up for the hug, and now they don't have their hand down around your pistol.
Okay, all right.
In fact, you know what? You guys should practice that together.
Hey, now, wait a minute. I don't like that visual too much.
There's a thought.
That's okay.
There's a thought that occurred to me, Tom, during this week when trying to get used to carrying the gun with me. When I get into my car, and I just put it in the center console.
Wait. What? Stop. What? Why are you doing that?
Because I don't have a holster yet.
Oh, okay. So you've been doing that up to now.
Yes.
Not preferred method.
Not the preferred method. But anyway, my question would be, if you're going to an event like a football game or something, they have metal detectors and you're not going to be able to bring your gun inside.
Right.
You have to leave it in your car. Should you have a case for it to lock it in as opposed to just locking your doors and hoping that keeps people out?
The best would be to have some kind of a locking case that is actually attached to your car. Very few people have that or are going to do that. All of us have done the uncomfortable thing of leaving it in the console. When you say, I can't take it in wherever, the post office, and stick it in there. If I have to leave it for any length of time, I'm going to unload it before I stick it in there. I don't know, just because if somebody were to grab a hold of it, somehow get their hands on it, I want it to be unloaded. When I get back in, I can load it. Now, let me say this. If you're doing that, be damned careful about where that muzzle's pointing, because it is really easy to blow a hole in your femoral artery and bleed out before you can get out of your car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I sound a little different. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, if you're having to load a gun in a car, sit in there, put it down between your feet, point it at the floor, and put the mag in, rack slide, finger off, trigger, straight along the side, all of that stuff. Better not to have to do that because, as we say, every time you handle it, you introduce an opportunity for something to go wrong.
Sure. Mm-hmm. See, I don't like using glove box or center console because I think that's, scumbag breaks in your car. It's going to be the first place they look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's other places in cars you can stash. I'm not going to tell you, Tom, because I don't trust you, and you're going to go out and steal my gun right now. I know you.
I think just leave it up on the dash. Box of Kleenex on top. I don't know.
Sure.
Put a little sign next to it that says, "Please steal my gun."
Yeah, that's always good.
I know guys that used to put their camera bags inside an ice chest in their car. They said nobody ever breaks in for a Coke. Okay, I don't know, but an ice chest, an old beat up nasty ice chest in the back, and throw it in there in a case
with a dead fish on the top. That's how you
urban camouflage. That's right. I don't know. It is an interesting question. Now there is an outfit that makes a lockable insert for your center console.
Console vault?
Console vault. There you go. Thank you. That's it. We used to have them as a sponsor. Yeah. Console vault. So depending on your model of your car, you may be able to get one of those and put it in its drop-in.
Bolt right in.
That wouldn't be a bad way to go.
Okay.
And they make one for Jeep, by the way.
Okay. I would hope so.
Yes, they do. I know they do.
But, you're going to have to just kind of take it easy sitting down in a restaurant. Your move is going to be a little bit different. It's possible when you get up, depending on the chair. For the gun, if there are horizontal slats on the back of the chair, the gun can get hung up on that. Now you're carrying this chair around because it's stuck on your gun, hanging off your belt.
Yeah, try to find a holster for that.
It's really difficult to get out of that one without attracting attention. Let me just tell you.
Well, since you
sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Not me. No. Never.
Since you are starting green, so to speak, and I don't mean it derogatorily, I'm very proud of you. You might want to start carrying chamber loaded as opposed to phasing into that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to start, you start. And try to shoot. Now, let me ask you, in your concealed carry class, did you guys do any drawing and shooting? My guess is no.
No.
Okay.
No. We did various things like, shoot with your strong hand unsupported, and then try shooting with your weak hand unsupported, and things like that. And then shoot at one target, switch hands, and then shoot at the other target. But no drawing.
Okay, well, we're going to get you all of our DVDs on concealed carry and all of that. If you would, just shoot me an address, and we'll get those to you.
Absolutely.
Because you can learn a fair amount by watching these and then getting into a room that has zero ammo in it, not a single round, and practice slow motion drawing. And it's, and it's interesting. The draw, you have two hands moving at the same time. Your left hand, in your case, is going to go to the center of your chest, and your right hand is going to go down to the gun and get a really good firing grip on the gun, pressing down on it. And then your index finger, your trigger finger, is straight out along the side of the holster. And as the gun comes up, the left hand stays at the center of the chest. The right hand keeps coming up, as far straight up as you can get it underneath your armpit. And then you just rotate your elbow down. Notice the elbow, not the wrist coming up, the elbow down, and the gun will be pointing. Your left hand is still out of the way because you might have to pull the trigger right now with that gun right there, and you really don't want to shoot your left hand. That's why your left hand is in the center of your chest. Also, you may have to fight somebody off who's trying to get you, and starting from that position in the center of your chest, you could push away on them, that kind of a thing.
We should have cameras rolling in here because as you're talking us through it, both Jim and I are making the motions.
Of course you are, and I'm doing the same thing over here. So, yes, exactly. We're all doing, and it comes up in your rocks, and then as the pistol starts coming out, basically off of your pectoral muscle, your left hand marries up with your right hand, and you have a two-handed firing grip with that gun still essentially pressed against your side of your chest, and then it just keeps pressing out in front of you with your fingers still off the trigger, not on the trigger yet. And it comes all the way out, and only when the sights are on the target and you have made a conscious decision to shoot will the finger come off the side of the gun and onto the trigger. It's really a good idea to practice that about 500 to 1,000 times with an empty gun. and do it slowly. Your temptation is there. I want to draw fast. We don't need to be Wyatt Earp. We really and truly don't. We just need to get it out of the holster safely.
And I'll tell you something that my old piano teacher told me. The old saying, practice makes perfect, is wrong. Practice makes permanent. Ooh. If you practice using the wrong technique, you are just reinforcing bad habits.
You're just drilling it in there, and it will be stuck. Yep. So slow and pay attention to details. And also, I really emphasize, by the way, a holster, any decent holster, you should be able to reholster with one hand. It's funny, I talked to a guy a couple of days ago. He said, I just use a little leather pouch holster. That way, when I pull it out, then I'm not tempted to reholster, because I'm going to keep it out until the cavalry arrives. I'm thinking, well, you could keep it out until the cavalry arrives.
Cavalry's going to see a guy with a gun.
Anyway, yeah, but I want to have the option of sticking it back in there.
Right, sure.
Because I may need to take off running and not want to be the guy with the gun. I don't know what's going to transpire, but I don't want to be locked into, oh, God, now I can't reholster my gun.
And just a word from Captain Obvious here, when you are reholstering, get your darn finger out of the trigger guard.
Yeah, what I say, keep your booger hook off the bang switch. See, we can do that in the after show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there have been a number of people have shot themselves holstering because they had the finger on the trigger and then shoved the gun down in the holster, and here we go. I actually heard from a gun store owner this week. He said, one of my customers shot himself in the femoral artery. So he coded 5 times on the way to the hospital.
Did he make it?
He was unloading a Glock, and taking it apart. And with a Glock, you have to pull the trigger to disassemble it. And it's one of those deals that, he got the sequence out. He racked the slide and then took out the magazine. You see where I'm going here?
No.
And he turned, and then if that wasn't enough, he turned the gun around and pointed it at himself when he pulled the trigger.
Oh, my gosh.
So, how many gun rules did he break there? All of them?
Let's see. All guns are always loaded. Never point a gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. Don't put your finger on the trigger until your sights are on the target and you're willing to shoot. And number 4, know your target and what's behind it. I think all 4 of them. Yeah. You're right. Okay, right, okay.
So now he can be an instructor that we'll see on YouTube in a couple of weeks.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
That's kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
To quote our president, that's sad.
That's bigly sad.
Bigly, that's right. Oh, okay. Lord. Well, Tom, you are in for a cool learning experience. Take it easy and slow. The other thing is, don't tell anybody.
Nope.
The tendency is to want to say, hey, cool, I got my permit. Don't tell anybody.
Oh, he had the great comeback today. I said, so you got your permit? Yeah. I said, are you carrying? He goes, it's none of your business.
Perfect.
See, I listen.
It was great.
There it is. Perfect. Great. None of your business.
And he's right.
That's pretty much it. And I just don't share that. And it's interesting how many people I meet who they'll say, what do you do? And they find out what I do. And the first thing I want to do is show me their carry gun.
Yeah.
No, that's really not a good plan. Let's just let that be between you and you. But, there you go. Well, I tell you what, keep us posted on the progress. We will talk each week and kind of see how it is, how you're liking it. Just, piece at a time, just a little piece at a time is all you can do. Mm-hmm. Well, congrats. That is excellent.
And looking hard for some training classes to take.
We need to talk.
Yes. As soon as Chris gets a little better, might be able to get Chris Sereno over there. He's improving rapidly. His chemo is finished, and he's coming back.
Good to hear.
Awesome. That's all good news.
And even if he doesn't want to drive up here, that's not that far of a drive from us.
Where is he?
Cleveland.
Okay.
Akron, right? Isn't he, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's Cleveland
or Akron.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's in Ohio. You guys are all together in Ohio, aren't you?
Yeah, you can hit anything with a baseball from Ohio. You
just can't hit a baseball.
Right.
But
you've seen me play.
By the way, what are you doing here? I thought hockey was on.
I got to go. Playoffs are coming up pretty soon.
That's right. All right, well, have a good week. And, Tom, we are looking forward to the updates.
Thank you.
All right, be good, guys.
See you.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gun Dealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.